I, Manish Srivastava, Assistant Professor of FGS Rama University, is going to present the topic of classification of offences from Bharatiya Nagrik Sakshya Samhita. New criminal laws are introduced. The Home Ministry recently announced the enactment of 3 new criminal laws, which are enacted on 25th of December 2023 and which are now effective from 1st July 2024. These bills repeal the British era law. Indian Penal Code is now Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. Code of Criminal Procedure is now Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita. Indian Evidence Act is now Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. Now, what are the reasons for introducing new criminal laws? The new criminal laws aim to revamp and replace the dated colonial laws by considering implementation of justice through new types of crime, which addresses crimes like cybercrime or digital fraud, social change to reflect evolving values and protect vulnerable groups, close legal gaps to fix outdated or unclear laws, ensure fairness to improve justice and protect rights, deterrence to prevent crime with stricter laws, support law enforcement to give better tools for fighting the crimes. Now, what is an offence? Any act forbidden by the law is an offence. Offence is defined under section 2 subsection 1 of clause Q of Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita, which defines that offence means any act or omission made punishable by any law or time being in force and includes any act in respect of which a complaint may be filed under section 20 of Cattle Trespass Act 1871. Now, why offences are classified? Offences are generally classified to streamline judicial process, which allows courts to determine the seriousness and necessary procedure of the law. Guide police powers. It defines when the police can arrest without warrant, with warrant, or it can investigate without the permission of the court, protects rights of accused and victim. It prevents the misuse of authority, influences bail and trial procedure. Different offences have different pre-trial procedures and also provides the right of bail to some offences which are bailable and non-bailable. Next, classification of offences. See, offences are mainly classified under 3 main categories as are provided under the Schedule 1 of Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita. Mainly, first, bailable and non-bailable offences, cognizable and non-cognizable offences, and compoundable and non-compoundable offences. Now, we will start with cognizable and non-cognizable offences. Cognizable offence, which is defined under section 1 subclause 1 G of Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita. Cognizable offence means an offence for which any and cognizable case means a case in which a police officer may, in accordance with the first schedule or under any other law for the time being in force, arrest without warrant. This means in cognizable cases a police officer can arrest without warrant, and in non-cognizable offence it cannot arrest without a warrant. In cognizable offence, police can act on their own, can arrest without warrant, investigate without permission of the magistrate, and has to register an FIR. Now, non-cognizable offences. Section 2 subsection 1 clause O of Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita defines the non-cognizable offences, which means an offence for which, and a non-cognizable case means a case in which a police officer has no authority to arrest without warrant. Now, in non-cognizable cases, the police have no authority to take action on their own. Non-cognizable cases are less serious offences, so they are not given the authority to act on their own, requires a warrant to arrest. A warrant shall be provided by the magistrate to the police for the arrest. The police officer cannot investigate without the permission of the magistrate, and no FIR has to be registered and only a complaint can be made to the magistrate in the cases of non-cognizable offences. Now, in the case of State of Uttar Pradesh versus Rajesh Gautam 2023, the Supreme Court held that the murder is an cognizable offence where the police must register an FIR and arrest can be made without a warrant. It reinforces the obligation to the police to act promptly in cognizable offences like murder or grievous assault. Such offences are serious offences, so the Supreme Court had directed that these are the cognizable offence and the police shall take action immediately after the occurrence of the act. In the case of Jacob Matthew versus State of Punjab 2005, a doctor was charged with a criminal negligence. The court held that non-cognizable offences like negligence under section 304A of IPC, a police cannot arrest without magistrate's permission. A police needs a warrant to arrest any person in non-cognizable offence and it cannot arrest anyone without the permission of the magistrate. The second type of offences are bailable and non-bailable offences. Now, section 2 subsection 1 clause C of Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita defines bailable offences. Means an offence which is shown as bailable in the first schedule or which is made bailable by any other law for the time being in force, and non-bailable offence means any other offence. Now, the bailable offence is given, the first schedule defines whether the offence is a bailable offence or a non-bailable offence. The bailable offence as defined in the first schedule and any other offences that are not bailable is non-bailable offence. Bailable offences. Bail can be claimed as the matter of right and the court has no discretion but to grant the bail. In the cases where the case is a bailable offence, the offence is a bailable offence, there the court has a discretion, court has no discretion but has to grant bail. The police officer is also empowered to grant bail in the bailable offence. Generally, bailable offences are less serious in nature and are generally punishable with less than 3 years of imprisonment. Now, with non-bailable offences. In the cases of non-bailable offences, the court has full discretion to grant bail and is exercised on the sound judicial principles. Only court can grant bail to the accused under section 480 or 483 of BNS as the case may be. Non-bailable offences are more serious in nature and are generally punishable with more than 3 years of imprisonment. Judicial discretion in non-bailable offences. As the court in non-bailable offences have a discretion that either they have to grant the bail or not. When the court consider bail in non-bailable offences, they have to consider the following points, that are nature and gravity of the offences, possibility of flight risk, likelihood of tampering of evidence by the accused, previous criminal record of the accused, and role of victim impact statement. Now, in the case of Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar 2014, the Supreme Court held that in a dowry harassment case, the court laid guidelines to prevent misuse of arrest power, and also held that bail is the right in the bailable offences and arrest must be justified and not automatical. In the case of State of Maharashtra versus D. Lakshman Rao Wankede 2009, the accused was involved in a rape case and the court denied the bail, stating the offence was heinous and non-bailable under section 376 IPC. Also held that it is the court that exercised discretion in non-bailable offences, especially when the offence is serious and affects societal morality. Now, the third type of offences are compoundable and non-compoundable offences. The compoundable offences are given under section 359 of BNSS, which are further divided into two categories. With the compoundable offences without the permission of the court as provided under section 359 subclause 1 in table 1, and with the permission of the court provided under section 359 subclause 1 in table 2, and After selecting these offences, the rest offences are said to be the non-compoundable offences. Now, what are compoundable offences? Compoundable offences are the offences which are defined under section 359 of BNSS. They are less serious in nature. They affect private persons. They can be compromised by the victim and the offender without the court permission under section 359 subclause 1 or with the court's permission 359 subclause 2. Upon compromise, the offender is acquitted without any trial. In compoundable offences, the victim and the accused compromises, and there are two types of compromise that can be done. One can be done with the permission of the court and without the permission of the court. The table of offences are provided under section 359 of BNSS, which provides that what type of offences can be held compoundable with the permission of court and without the permission of court. So, the example of compoundable offences are like theft, defamation. They are less serious in nature. Now, the non-compoundable offences, they are not classified under the Sanhita. They are more serious in nature. They affect victim as well as society at large. They cannot be compromised by the victim and the offender in any circumstances. The full trial is held, which ends either in acquittal or conviction of the offender on the basis of the evidence. Non-compoundable offences are such type of offences in which the victim and the accused cannot compromise, as they are very serious, as the offences are very serious in nature. Example of such offences are murder, rape. In the case of Jian Singh versus State of Punjab 2012, the court allowed compounding of the criminal breach of trust, citing mutual settlement between the parties. It also held that the court can permit quashing of FIRs if it serves justice in minor personal disputes. In the case of Shimbhu versus State of Haryana 2013, the accused in a rape case requested a compromise, but the court refused, emphasizing that such offences are against the society and cannot be compounded. Also held that non-compoundable offences cannot be settled privately. Full trial and punishment are necessary. As rape is a serious offence, then it cannot be settled in, and a criminal breach of trust, which was cited mutual settlement between the parties, can be compounded. Now, thank you.